guys. Welcome to episode number 30.
Henrik Lundqvist.
Take on New York Sports. Anthony Heaton here with you. Ava as well, as you can hear.
Hello.
We're going to... The last episode that I recorded, I recorded it basically 2 hours too early because...
It was poorly timed.
Yeah. 2 hours after I stopped recording, the news broke of Jeff Gorton and John Davidson being, quote unquote, relieved of their duties.
Fired.
And and Chris Drury basically taking over everything, GM, president, everything at this point. So we just, we got some reactions to that. And obviously since then, David Quinn has been let go along with
everyone
three
else
of his coaches, I guess.
Except Benoit Allaire.
Right. So let's delve into that a little bit and discuss the Rangers' outlook in the offseason and for the season coming up.
Well, first of all, you were rude and did a live show while I was at school, so I couldn't explain how I felt about Tom Wilson.
That's true.
Pretty much the same as you said, though. I hate the guy, but also you cannot put any of that blame on Artemi Panarin. I see way too many people saying, "Oh, well, he jumped on Tom Wilson's back." If you watch it closely, you can see that Panarin didn't jump on his back. Panarin wrapped his arms around Tom Wilson to stop him from punching a defenseless Pavel Buchnevich. So when Panarin wrapped his arms around Wilson, Wilson began to stand up. And if you know anything about Tom Wilson, you know that he is very strong. And him standing up lifted Panarin's skates off the ice. So that's why it looks like Panarin jumped on his back, because Tom Wilson stood up almost immediately. And you can't blame, regardless, you can't blame any of that on Artemi Panarin, because after the fact, Tom Wilson threw him to the ground without a helmet. So, yeah, Tom Wilson's a dirtbag. Anyway.
He's very mean.
Yeah, that was not really nice.
And of course, he scores the first goal in the playoffs this year, of course.
Just as a big F you to everyone.
Yeah.
But...
So, the front office, let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah, the whole situation is just confusing.
Very weird. Obviously the timing of it,
strange.
Yeah, I mean, it leads everybody to think and believe that, it had something to do with the statement that they made about, the Tom Wilson incident and, I forgot the guy's name who runs the player safety. I spoke about
George
that.
Paros.
Yeah, last episode. Yeah, they had that the statement they made. They got fined
$250,000 for calling out the league on its bullcrap.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Wilson gets $5,000 fine. They get $250,000 fine. Again, I know he's only allowed to get fined that much. Yada yada yada. But yeah, it's something that came as a shock, I think, to
everyone.
Yeah, and I have nothing against Drury. We don't really know what he can be in that position. Yeah, he's been the assistant GM for a while. He's been in the organization. We know what a great leader he was on the ice. He was our captain for a bit and, won the Stanley Cup in Colorado. And, he was a great player, his whole career. But what can he do now that, he has full reins, basically?
All I'm saying is that to get offered 3 different GM positions from 3 different teams in the span of a year and turn them all down so you can keep working with the Rangers, that's someone I want to keep in the organization for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he obviously wants to be here. He wants to, start and finish this, the championship, putting together the championship team and getting the job done. And like you said, you like to see that where he didn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to be here. And, you can't say enough good, though, either about what Gorton and Davidson did. I know JD was only here for 2 years.
Yeah, but in those 2 years, how much does this team develop and this rebuild grow?
Yep. I mean, they definitely, sped the rebuild up exponentially, which is, really nice to see because you hate, being a bag of crap for years.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's still very... I don't know. And again, it's James Dolan is a very
interesting individual.
Dude. Yeah. He usually keeps out of the Ranger stuff. He's more involved in the basketball side of things. Sather's still around, obviously, with him. How much influence did that have? Who knows? But I don't know. To me, JD did nothing, and Gorton too did nothing to warrant, this change.
Gorton specifically upset me because you think about this rebuild, you think about all the assets that play into this rebuild, and who's responsible for most of it? Jeff Gorton. Just think about it. We trade for Mika Zibanejad, which shocked the entire Rangers fan base. Like, why the hell would you trade Derek Brassard for this nobody? And then he comes out the gates, and now he's one of your star players, up for the spot of the captaincy.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see he trades for Adam Fox, absolutely finesse the Carolina Hurricanes. Thank you for that, by the way, Hurricanes. And they sign Artemi Panarin, they sign Jacob Trouba, and I know that's not all Jeff Gorton, but he plays a big role in that.
Of course, yeah. The GM gets scolded when he signs or trades for crap players. He's got to
give him the recognition that he deserves when he does it.
Right, exactly.
So I have nothing but gratitude for Jeff Gorton. And I've had my moments. I didn't like him. Like, I was upset about the Zook trade, but we all knew that was happening. I was upset about the Hayes trade, but we all knew that was happening. I honestly can't think of anything that he specifically did that we didn't all see coming anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely done a lot more good than bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you look now at that Rick Nash trade. Obviously, we knew Nash had to go. We had to try and get something for him. We weren't doing anything that year.
Now Lindgren has a 3-year extension.
And look at Lindgren. Him and Fox,
are
phenomenal.
One of the best deep pairings in the league right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I have nothing but gratitude for Jeff Gorton, everything he's done for the organization. I do wish that we could get a statement from James Dolan about why this happened. I think we all know why it happened because I know they were talking about it on the Michael Kay show, but so they didn't know the statement was being made before it was made.
Right.
They just saw it when we saw it. They saw it when we all saw it, which that should not be happening no matter where you are in the organization, no matter if you're in the organization, especially to that level, the GM and the president of the team, you should not be left in the dark about a statement like that, especially a statement that is saying that someone is unfit for their job.
Right. Yeah, that was a very bold statement to say the least. And was it warranted?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's. I know he's in a tough spot anyway. Trying to come down with these, these punishments and all this other stuff and everything. But hey, man, that's what you signed up for.
Well, I did look into it a little more, and George Parros, he really doesn't make all of the big decisions. Like, he has a bigger part in it than anyone else.
Right.
But
I know there was that suspension too, where basically Bettman stepped in and
he wasn't gonna suspend Tom Wilson for that. And Gary Bettman said that makes the league look bad.
Right.
So you have to suspend him for 7 games? Something like that.
And again, it does. But what is his?
Can Bettman step in now? Like,
right. What is his role then if he's not?
If he's is he like Bettman's puppet? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. It's just you need to be able to judge this fairly, because something that I like, if you look at them, they're just wrong. And on every level. For example, Pavel Buchnevich, did he deserve a suspension for that? 100% yes. But the fact that he got a suspension for that over Tom Wilson almost killing Artemi Panarin, and people are going to say I'm being dramatic, but I'm not, because if his head hit the ice first and not whatever his shoulder, he literally could have blacked out.
The problem I have is that, and I talked about this last episode, this isn't Tom Wilson's first, second, third, fourth, or fifth offense.
It's his 50th.
That's where, to me, the issue lies. And it's got to be, he's got to have a very short leash where it's almost like he can't get fined anymore. He has to get suspended. If it's a finable offense to anybody else in the league, he's got to get a suspension.
Exactly.
And it's got to get longer and longer and longer and longer, because, when is this clown gonna, when is he gonna realize?
They need to extend the punishments, because these little slaps on the wrist, they aren't working. Look
Right,
at Brad Marchand.
$5,000 for a guy who makes $5 million a year.
Yeah, you do the math. It's like $64 to the average American.
No.
You look at Brad Marchand. Was one of the dirtiest players. Keyword was. Once he stopped with the cheap shots and the dirty plays, look at him now. Now he's one of the top players in the league. As much as I hate Brad Marchand, Tom Wilson is dirtier than Brad Marchand ever was. And that's what's frustrating to me, is that people focus so much on, oh, Brad Marchand's a rat. He is that. Brad Marchand's annoying to play against. I'll give you that. Because he's good. And he's a difficult player to play against. And I don't like him. But if you're going to sit there and talk crap about Brad Marchand and say that Brad Marchand is a rat, you got to put that same energy into Tom Wilson, because he's way worse.
And the funny thing is, Wilson has some skill.
Exactly.
You know, where he can be a complete player and, you know, a force in this league. Instead, he just has to act like a jackass and, you know.
Not to compare him to, you know, another clown, but look at Tony D'Angelo. Amazing season last year. He threw it all out the window. Because of his attitude. And I'm not saying that's the same thing, because, you know, for all we know, Tom Wilson could be an angel off the ice. But
well, sure, he's a very pleasant man off the ice, yeah.
You gotta,
you know, when he acts like a douche on the ice, it's a different story.
It's hard to, you know, think about that when he's a douche on the ice, you know? So you gotta, some of these players in this league need to learn how to, you know, kind of put their issues aside and just play the game. Because at the end of the day, there's a mutual respect between hockey players.
Oh, yeah. You always, that's the one thing I love to see after a playoff series. Everybody, you know, they're killing each other for 7 games. And then they're shaking hands. Good luck. Congratulations. Blah, blah, blah.
Valley said it.
And that's how it should be.
Valley said it after the game. There is a mutual respect between hockey players. And if you want to call that Artemi Panarin and Tom Wilson interaction a fight, you're simply wrong. There's no other way to put it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Because a fight, when there's a fight in the NHL, you see a mutual agreement between players. Like, you want to go, okay, we go. Like, they agree.
It's more of a staged event than anything.
Exactly.
You know, it's a planned thing.
It's like wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
and I know Ovechkin and Wilson, quote unquote, reached out to Panarin afterwards, but I mean,
that's for their image. That's not because they care. That's because they don't want to look like jerks.
Even if they do care, then you obviously know that had to be some sort of, you know,
if you care that much, don't do it.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And if you felt the need that you have to reach out and see if he's okay, then you know you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Which again, you know, doesn't matter to him or anything, because it all comes down to the league and what they want to do. But
yeah, I'm not going to blame Tom Wilson for him not getting suspended. He's obviously not going to go up to George Parros and say, you know what, I deserve a suspension.
Right.
Like, you know, that's all on the league. I'm not going to blame Tom Wilson for that. I'm going to blame the crap out of Tom Wilson, though, for injuring Artemi Panarin. But you see a defenseless player on the ice and you continue to punch them. And Nazem Kadri, I think it was last year, got suspended for an entire playoff series for a cross-check. And what was it? Shane Gostisbehere suspended for a cross-check. And Buchnevich suspended, what was it, a high stick or a cross-check or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Buchnevich had never been suspended before. He's never been fined before. Tom Wilson, this is his 50th offense.
Yeah.
You have to take things like that into consideration, which is why when people are like, if this was anybody besides Tom Wilson, you wouldn't care. I would still care, maybe not as much, because they hadn't done it 50 times before.
Exactly. That's the issue here.
He's still going, and he's not learning from past mistakes. And if he decides to, you know, stop being a dirtbag and stop beating the crap out of defenseless players, he could be a really good player, one of the top players on the team.
And it's, you know, you look at it as, you know, I know Valaket said this, that, you know, he should be suspended the year. Okay, let's just say that. What if he was suspended the year? How does that change things now? Again, he scored the first goal in the game yesterday. Washington wins 3-2 in overtime. You know, maybe that's different. You know, who knows how, you know, what sort of domino effect can happen. You know, he doesn't score that goal. Maybe Washington loses. Boston wins the series. Now maybe Washington wins the series. It's, you know, it's all about it's like a chain reaction,
Yeah.
and that's why it's the right steps have to be taken, and they're just
Not.
they weren't. But
Moving away from Tom Wilson's.
yeah, let's take a look at the off season. I know
Obviously.
the big topic is Jack Eichel. It's all you hear about.
I want to hold on. So, I'm seeing things that basically you're going to trade for Jack Eichel. Your 3 players that are kind of on the block are Capo Caco,
No.
Braden Schneider. Yeah, sure, if you want him, take him.
Mm.
And Niels Lundqvist. No. It's not happening. So the way I look at those 3 players, 2 of them not happening. And I see people that are like, okay, you want Jack Eichel, you're going to need to trade a top player. Not necessarily, because Jack Eichel so obviously wants out of Buffalo. And Buffalo didn't let him get surgery on his neck, which is just disgusting to me.
Right. It's all going to come down to, who blinks first.
Yeah.
The Sabres or Eichel. Is he going to just say, okay, great, I guess I'm here? Or is he going to, whine and bitch the whole time?
He should.
And
honestly
force his way out.
He should. Because
which if this was the NBA, he'd be out already, because he would just say, I want out, and then he'd be gone.
Yeah.
Because, in the NBA, the stars run the league. But, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Would I mind him on my team? No, at the right price. At the right price.
Yeah, if they want to retain some of his salary, we'll trade them Brett Howden.
Yeah, they're going to have to retain some of his salary, or, we have a lot of pending restricted free agents. And again, I guess we'll see what happens with the draft, the expansion draft, and, a few other things. But I don't want to give up the farm for him. And I know we need centers. I know we need, skilled centers. I just don't know. For some reason, the fit to me is just, it's not perfect. And again, there's no way to tell 100%, obviously. And you never know how a person is going to react to a new surrounding.
That is something that Buffalo specifically doesn't seem to take into account. For example, they trade for all these star players, not considering how they're going to work with the dynamic of their team. You saw it happen with, who's the guy that used to be in the Islanders? Okposo.
Oh, Kyle Okposo,
You see it happen with him. He was great on the Islanders. He comes to the Sabres and he sucks. Taylor Hall, Hart Trophy winner, comes to the Sabres and he sucks.
Jeff Skinner
was pretty good this year. He was their better player. I mean, he did as much as you can do when you're on the Buffalo Sabres. Pretty sure he scored against the Rangers a couple times.
Yeah, but he didn't score a lot at all. I don't think he had 10 goals this year.
Well, he's on the Sabres.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's
they don't think about how these players are going to work with the dynamic of their team, and that's a problem, which is something that the Rangers specifically, I've noticed, have been doing. They take into account, okay, maybe Jack Eichel is one of the better players in the league, but is he going to fit with who we want to keep presently? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to throw away your future for Jack Eichel.
Right. And you hear these people, okay, well, then you're going to have to trade Lafreniere and this thing. No,
they're not trading Lafreniere.
Right. We don't know what he is yet.
There are very few untouchables on this team right now. In my eyes, the only untouchables are the ones with no movement clauses, which would be Chris Kreider, Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, and Jacob Trouba, because none of them want to leave. Alexi Lafreniere.
Never heard of him.
Adam Fox.
Who?
And Igor Shesterkin. Other than that, I don't know I don't think that there are that many untouchables. You could say Capo Caco's an untouchable. Yeah, sure. I think that there's still a slight chance they trade him. I don't think they will, but I don't think he's necessarily an untouchable. Same thing with Vitaly Kravtsov. I don't think they trade him, but I don't think I would necessarily consider him an untouchable.
You're gonna have to include one big name. One potential big name, I should say.
So they can have Philip Hedl.
It's yeah, but that kind of defeats the purpose.
I know. That's what I was going to say before. That's why people are like, well, we want Mika Zibanejad. You're not getting Mika Zibanejad because we're not going to trade you our star center for Jack Eichel, who's a center.
Right.
That's not.
We'll give you one of our wingers, because that's we got a plethora of wingers.
can they take someone from the minors? Like, because this team, I feel like right now,
You
this
c-
team
you
is so complete.
right, but you're gonna have to send over a top prospect. That's
Okay.
just, you know what I
They can
mean?
have Braden Schneider.
Yeah, but it may take more than that. They probably want an NHL ready player as well. So
Well, they're not getting Niels Lundqvist. It's not happening.
it all depends. It's listen. I have faith in Drury.
I do too.
Okay, so he'll do the right thing, whether that's get him at the right price or don't get him because the price is too steep. Whatever it is, I have faith.
Yeah, to get
in
offered
Drury.
3 different GM positions in the span of a year, that makes me think you must be good. You must be good at your job.
Yeah.
But it's just they're gonna have to give up too much in my eyes. In my eyes, this team is just about complete. I think firing Quinn and hopefully hiring a better coach, assuming we don't hire John Tortorella.
Yeah.
Firing Quinn in my eyes was like
Gallant is all you hear about, by the way.
was like the final step into becoming serious contenders.
Yeah.
And I think now if you hire someone like Gallant or who's the other guy, Claude Julien or Bruce Boudreau, or
Mike
if
Babcock.
if Rod Brindamore would like to come, we're not opposed. Can the Canes lose just so that we can interview Rod Brindamore, please? Nah, he's got it too good in Carolina. But my point is that was like the final step into becoming a serious contender. And I think this team is really complete. I really like this team this year. Like this year was probably the first year since I've been a Rangers fan that I cannot give you a solid top 10 players. I can give you a couple players who I like the most, but I can't put them in order. Like other than Jacob Trouba and Vitaly Kravtsov being my top 2. Other than that, I'm done. Like I love them all, and everyone played a role this year except Jack Johnson. Like if I can, and Brett Howden, but like even he was going to the penalty kill. If you think about it, this was probably the first year where we didn't have a player who just sucked all around. And I know I talk a lot of crap about Brett Howden, but he was great on the penalty kill. Him and Kevin Rooney.
Yeah.
So when everybody played a role, even Keith Kincaid, who I love the most. I love Keith Kincaid. The emoji master came up clutch in the last game of the season. But, everybody had their role and everybody played their role well. And it was just unfortunate the way the season ended due to some players' inconsistencies. I just think that if Panarin hadn't missed those 2 weeks, and if Zibanejad didn't have such a slow start to the season, the season could have been different.
Well, if my aunt had a mustache, she'd be my uncle. So you can say ifs all you want. That's just
We have never heard that before.
That's just the way it went. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
And we look forward to October and a full 82 game season. And that's going to be
hopefully normal divisions with a wild card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, normal divisions.
This season, if there have been wild cards.
Well, yeah, you look at all the other divisions.
Rangers just got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, I mean, again, we did it to ourselves. You got to play who's on your schedule. You got to beat who's on your schedule, and just we didn't.
We couldn't. We lost to Buffalo.
We came up short.
3 times, twice, 3 times, twice. I don't know. We lost to Buffalo multiple times. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it's just unfortunate how the season ended. And it's very easy for me to blame it on David Quinn. So I'm choosing to blame it on David Quinn and his inconsistent lines and his inconsistent goalies.
All right, real quick. We'll just give our quick predictions on the first round and then our Stanley Cup final.
I just would like to point out that I had Philly making it to the final.
Yeah, I think you're going to be wrong.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Penguins Islanders.
Pittsburgh in 7.
I can't give games. I'm brutal at that, but
I'm just giving games for the first round because I already had to.
I think Pittsburgh. Challenge. I think Pittsburgh wins. I hope Pittsburgh wins.
We're just hoping.
It's just disgusting.
I'm being optimistic.
Any of these Eastern Conference.
I know they're terrible.
Eastern Division matchups.
It's terrible.
Washington, Boston.
Who played their first game yesterday?
Right.
I still think
Washington won.
Boston in 7.
I think Boston will win that series.
I can't see Brad Marchand letting up.
Panthers, Lightning.
Panthers.
Yeah, I got the Lightning. I don't see the Panthers, man.
Panthers, they're coming in with the upset, like the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. Hurricanes, Predators, Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
Oilers, Jets.
Oilers.
Yeah. I guess I'll go Oilers. Leafs, Canadians.
Leafs. I would like to point out that the freaking Canadians have the same amount of wins as the Calgary Flames, but the only reason that the Habs are in a playoff spot and the Flames aren't is because the Habs lost in overtime 11 times this year. 11. And the Flames still have games left. I like the Flames.
Knights versus Wild.
Knights. As much as I wanted to pick the Wild because I love Kirill Kaprizov, it's the Knights.
Avalanche, Blues.
Avs.
Right. All right. And I think the predictions we made for the finals, I know yours are out.
I had the Avs playing Philly.
Right.
And the Avs winning.
I had the Avs and Lightning, so
that's still
as of now,
happen.
I'm alive, right? Yeah. So what's your current pick?
Wait, hold on. I forgot. Who did I have make it?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Wasn't that making the final though?
I think that's what you told me. Pittsburgh and
No, I think I had them losing to in like the semifinals. Wait, I don't remember. This is not good. It was I have the Canes winning.
Oh, so then you had the Hurricanes and the Avalanche.
No. Yeah, it must have been the Hurricanes and the Avalanche.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my pick of the Lightning and the Avalanche. So, we'll see how
Hurricanes.
that goes.
Go Brady Shea and Jesper Frost and Mr. Svechnikov.
So, that's our wrap on the Rangers. We'll see what transpires in the offseason. Once we get a coach, we'll see, how we feel about that.
Before we transition to baseball, I promised Gabby I would wish Jack Hughes a happy late birthday. His birthday was yesterday, and I promised Gabby I would tell him happy birthday on the podcast.
Who cares?
So happy birthday, Jack Hughes.
Yeah, great. What is he now? 13?
20.
All right, and I don't know. I guess we're gonna have a good luck to the Islanders, but not really.
I don't know if they have good luck. I hope they have terrible luck, and I hope that Sidney Crosby makes them cry.
Yeah, I hope they get blown out too. I don't even know why
I hate Sidney Crosby with a passion, but I hope he makes the Islanders weep.
All right, let's Yankees 22-17 now, first time all season, 5 games over 500.
Finally.
Playing really well, and the injury bug, of course, has hit us a little bit. No Stanton in the lineup again today, the finale against Baltimore.
Who is Lamar?
Well,
I've never heard of him.
He's a center fielder. He's going to take over for Hicks.
Why?
Because Hicks is going to be placed on the IL. We only had 39 players on the 40-man roster, so we could put him on the 40-man without taking Hicks off. My issue is, though, why are we not calling up Florial?
Why is Gardner not playing?
Well, Gardner sucks.
Okay, but I'd rather him play than this nobody Lamar.
Yeah, but you give a young kid a chance. You never know. You get lightning in a bottle. Who knows? But he's going to basically come up and take Hicks' spot, as Hicks will go on the IL and, possibly need surgery still. So we'll see how that goes. But, the Yankees have won, what have they won? 1, 2,
5 in a row.
3, 4, 5. They've won 7 straight series now.
Yeah, that.
Which is, that's what you got to do in baseball. You take 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, and you're at 100 wins at the end of the season. So playing much better. Again, not playing world beaters. I mean, they did take it to the Astros, which was nice, 2 out of 3. Beat Washington 2 out of 3 with 2 walk-offs, which were, those are always exciting. And then we finally went into the Trop.
And won a series.
Right, and we won 2 out of 3.
Blew it the third game.
Yeah, we didn't score many freaking runs. We scored 5 runs in 3 games.
Garrett Cole and Monty just came in clutch.
I mean, Garrett Cole was just
phenomenal. I really wish they would have let him come back out.
They showed that stat of most like 8 innings or more, no walks, and 12 plus strikeouts in a game. And you saw like Pettit did it twice, Tanaka did it twice,
I miss him.
somebody else did it once. This is in their Yankee careers, and Garrett Cole's done it 3 times, and that was all this season already. So, I mean, I know it's very early, but it seems like the AL Cy Young is his to lose at this point.
Yeah.
He's just dealing.
It's just going to be him against DeGrom for the actual Cy Young, right? Is that like a thing? Do they do that?
No, it's an AL
AL
NL.
NL?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice for Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Speaking of DeGrom, I mean,
he's just absolutely dealing too. I mean,
yeah, the problem is now though he's hurt. And he came out of the last game with that lat tightness again.
Yeah, he came back and then he left again.
Yeah.
You don't like to see that.
We'll see. The Mets were killing it. I think they won 7 in a row. And then, of course, they go play Tampa and they can't do us any favors. Right.
They're like the Islanders.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
do them. It's like they can't do us. They can't help us at all.
I know.
We can help them.
But a lot of positives with the Yankees. Obviously, Cole, Kluber's been pitching a lot better. Montgomery's been pitching better. Herman has been really well. Tyone is
not good.
I mean, if he can get a little more consistent as our 5th starter, that's fine. We don't expect much more than that from him.
Davy Garcia.
Well, the thing is, Severino is pitching to batters.
That's lovely for Severino. He's not back yet, so
right.
Davy Garcia.
No, we're gonna ride out Tyone for a little bit.
No, it's painful.
And he's gonna have to keep that 5th spot warm for Sevy to come back, because even when Sevy comes back, obviously it's gonna be
how many injuries do we think we get this season? 25?
Hopefully none. But yeah, and he was seen throwing batting practice to the Martian the other day, Dominguez.
Who by the way has TikTok.
He's just, I mean, I'm
again, so excited for him.
Yeah, you don't know what he's going to be on the major league level, but let's just see this kid's career get going here, and very exciting for sure. Judge playing his ass off.
Yeah.
Gio Urshela with a huge pinch hit.
We were outside.
3-run home run. Yes, we were watching outside, and that was the Yankees' first pinch hit of the season. By the way, every other team had one, at least one. And we were last to the party, but whatever.
I'll take if we're late to the party and then that happens. I'm fine with that.
It was a huge hit from Gio, 3-run shot.
After he fouled away so many bad pitches.
Yeah, he worked that pitcher real good, and
he's one that he liked, and
he's probably been our most consistent hitter this year.
I agree.
He's batting right around 300.
He's one of my favorites, so I'm very happy to see that. I'm happy to see Voit getting back into the groove.
Yeah, Voit, I feel bad for Voit. He still looks like he's playing on one leg. I know he had that knee surgery and everything, but
he just wants to play. He's very stubborn, and I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, because I would never play baseball, but
a lot of positives. The negatives are center field and left field. Yeah, well, Stanton,
Stanton was
he's not on the IL.
Right,
he's not on the IL. It's just a day-to-day thing. That's fine, but
I think they're just hesitant to put him on the IL.
I just don't understand a quad injury with somebody that doesn't play the field. I mean, I
guess when you turn, maybe it's
and I know you got to run the bases, and he's been on base a ton lately, which is good. But it's like Judge needs a rest from flying on an airplane. Stanton needs a rest because he was on the bases too much, and he's got a tight quad or whatever. It's like, come on, guys. I know stuff happens, but
just a little breaking news for the Islanders fans. It'll be Ilya Sorokin versus Tristan Jarry in goal today.
Wow.
So it'll be Ilya Sorokin's first playoff game.
Wow, that's a little surprising to me.
I thought they would put in Varley for sure.
That is a little surprising.
Well, I know that Varley came out of the last game of the season a little sore. I was watching it. He came out of the last game of the season a little sore, a little tight. And I think Trotz has said after, because I was watching this game, because I wanted them to win. But I was watching the post game, and Trotz said that if it was a playoff game, Varley probably would have stayed in. They just wanted to be safe. So I wonder if that's why Sorokin's playing, because Varley isn't 100% yet, and they don't want to risk it just in case.
Right.
They make it, farther.
Right.
They want to have Varley. Because Varley's up for Vezina this year.
As soon as he's, 85%, I'm sure they're gonna
they're gonna be like, okay, you're fine, go play. Yeah. We need you. Back to baseball.
So the Yankees now, on the on this 10-game road trip, finishing up in Baltimore today. Then we got 4 in Texas. Then we come home for a tough 6-game stand against the White Sox and the Blue Jays. 33% capacity, I think we're up to now at this point on the 21st.
We should go.
So that'll be nice. Then they have a quick road trip, 3 games in Detroit, and then they come home again for Tampa Bay on Memorial Day.
Lovely. Happy Memorial Day, L.
4 against them at home. And then finally,
at least it's not at the Trop.
Finally, June 4th, a weekend series against the Red Sox,
who we still haven't played.
2 months go by into the season, and the Yankees and Red Sox are not going to have, having not played one time.
That's ridiculous.
Very
How
strange.
How many times we played the Orioles?
Very strange.
Yeah, I don't know who made the schedule and what they were drinking, but.
Yeah, and, you give the Red Sox credit. 25-16, first place in the AL East.
Hopefully they're going to start losing more now.
Yeah, I don't think they
can keep it up.
Are going to be able to keep it up.
I hope they're not.
Verdugo is playing well. Obviously, JD Martinez is, crushing the ball. Xander Bogaerts playing real well, like he always does. Their pitching is the biggest question. And it seems that
Martinez has been good, right?
JD, yeah, he's been real good. Yeah, he's been crushing it. But they seem to be out slugging everybody. And, that, as we've seen in the past, that's not like a long range solution. Mm-hmm. And you got to have quality pitching, and, we'll see how that goes. But excited for that series. It's, it's like the anticipation's building. I mean, you're always excited for Yankees, Red Sox, but
especially this year.
Yeah. And not having played in the first 2 months of the season, it's like, come on already.
I'm also hoping that DeGrom gets healthy quick. So, cause I would love to see nothing more than DeGrom versus Cole. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Subway Series, DeGrom Cole. Oh, that'd be an amazing game to watch. It'd be a pitcher's duel for sure.
Yeah. And, hopefully at Yankee Stadium, because none of that crap with the freaking pitchers hitting.
Yeah, no, I don't want Garrett Cole to be.
We don't need Garrett Cole out there hitting.
And we don't. Someone get injured? Didn't Tanaka? Was it Tanaka that got hurt? Someone got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt at one point. But Chien-Ming Wang back in the day, he was having a phenomenal season, and then he hurt himself running the bases, I think, in Houston.
Oh God.
But yeah, I mean, plus I don't want DeGrom batting because he's like,
he can single-handedly
he's like a 300 hitter. Yeah,
he can single-handedly win a baseball game. We've seen it happen before.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of good things with the Yankees right now. Let's keep it up. Let's try to, limit the injuries. Hopefully Stanton gets back. Sometime on this road trip. Zach Britton is close to returning. He's
exciting.
Yeah, he's eligible to come off the IL May 31st. And Matt Blake the other day said that that time frame looks really good. So hopefully, June 1, he's ready to go. And that'll just bolster our bullpen big time because Justin Wilson, lefty reliever that we picked up, he's been very, very questionable.
What about Nick Nelson?
I'm so glad he's down. But Loizaga has been fantastic.
Cessa was terrible last night.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but he's been good overall. Chapman. He's nearly unhittable. You saw that Cole game, and it was Cole 8 innings, Chapman for the save, mm-hmm. And it's like, I mean, is that really fair at this point? Like this year, that's just a beautiful thing. You got
Cole and Chapman as your 2 pitchers in the game. You feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, and again, you only need 1 run at that point. Not that we want to play that game every
not that
game,
we want Aaron Judge single-handedly carrying the team.
Aaron Judge.
Wasn't it Aaron Judge who got the hit? There wasn't someone on base, and then Aaron Judge got the hit.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right.
I don't remember who was on base.
Yeah.
But I just want to mention basketball real quick because I know you haven't been watching, but I have. Alex Burks came back and just absolutely dominated. His first 2 games back was hitting 3-pointers like it was nobody's business. And his first game back 2 games ago, the Knicks had a 10-point lead. Then they blew the 10-point lead and were down by 17 points. Then they came back and won. So the refs were terrible. Tom Thibodeau was about to what was that his name?
Yeah.
I was just making sure. I don't know why I thought it was Tim Thibodeau. I'm glad it's not.
No, you're thinking of Tim Timmons, the umpire.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. But he was about to lose his mind at the refs because there was one play specifically that still annoys me. One of the Spurs was, dribbling the ball, and it went off the same guy's foot
Mm-hmm.
and out of play, and they called it a foul. Like on it, I was like, are you kidding me? And yeah, nobody really liked that. But they came back, they won that game, and then they won again yesterday.
And yeah, now they control their own destiny. I mean, there's one game left. They're home against the Celtics, and if they win,
who they can definitely beat.
Oh yeah, if they can win, they're locked into the 4 seed, and they're hosting the first round playoff matchup.
Yeah,
which
Julius Randle's been great, but that's nothing new.
He's been phenomenal. Yeah,
he made a great one of the prettiest passes I've ever seen. It was just a beautiful pass to Burks, who hit a 3-pointer. Burks has just been on fire since he came back, and that's very nice to see. Obi Toppin has barely been playing, and I'm a little upset about it.
Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, and I think they're basically locked into the Hawks.
Yeah.
As a 4 or 5 matchup, it just depends on home court. So you got to feel pretty good about that if you're a Knicks fan.
Yeah, but then again, they're still the Knicks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Nets look like they're going to. They're in the 2 spot right now, so they're going to probably play one of those the teams that win the play-in, the little play-in tournament games. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, you got to be excited as a Knicks fan for the future.
First time since 2013.
Yeah, and this year was just, completely unexpected. They won more games this year, I think, than the last 2 combined.
See, that doesn't surprise me.
See, and that's just, and they're winning.
Shows what a good coach can do.
Right, exactly, and they're winning in all different ways. They're coming from behind. They're blowing teams out. They're winning close games.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's again, like I said, as soon as they hired Thibodeau, it's you got a young group and they want to be coached. That's the biggest thing. A lot of these NBA superstars, they listen. I know what I'm doing. Give me the ball, and that's it. They don't want to be coached. And you know what? That works for some of them because they're just ridiculously good. That's fine.
LeBron
but
James.
he can coach himself. That's fine. But we're a young team and we're eager to learn and we're listening and we are learning. And, nobody expected us to make the playoffs this year, maybe sneak in, maybe, but we're in the 4 seed now. We could be hosting a playoff game.
Yeah.
A playoff round, I should say. So good for the Knicks. Good luck. Hopefully, they can do something positive for us.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Rangers didn't.
Unfortunately. One final question before we head out. Who do the Rangers hire? Do they hire Gallant? Are they going to interview Tortorella?
I think Drury is going to do his due diligence and he'll interview a couple, he'll interview a couple players, a couple coaches, potential coaches.
As it's not Tortorella. Though, I saw something talking about it. Technically, Alain Vigneault, when he first came, and then they made it to the finals, that was basically Tortorella's team.
Right. But my only hesitation with Tortorella is...
He scares me.
No. Well, first of all, I feel bad for Larry Brooks if he comes back. But
I love that.
My thing is, can't you just, and I saw, this isn't me saying this, but it was a really good point. Can't you just see him benching Adam Fox one game or one period for not being physical enough or something? You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, Fox is going to show up 30 seconds late to practice and then get benched the next 3 games.
It's just,
He's too harsh sometimes.
I don't need that. And, it works for some teams. Maybe as he's older in age, maybe it's, he's a little more flexible. Tom Coughlin did it, for the Giants, and look what happened. They won 2 Super Bowls. But do there's a very fine line where motivation and pushing your players and, all right, stop being a jackass and you're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think they go with Gallant.
Hopefully.
I think they do.
I'd be okay with what's his name, Julian.
Claude Julien, yeah.
Or Bruce Boudreau, who looks like he could be Barry Trotz's cousin.
Yes. Yep. You do not want Babcock.
No, I do not want Babcock. Babcock can stay far away from this team.
You don't want Messier.
No, because just no. He has no coaching experience, and I don't want that to wreck people's view of him.
What about me?
You'd probably be a better coach than David Quinn. One thing I will say about David Quinn is the only person he ever unjustly benched was Alexis Lafreniere.
And on that note, yep, that wraps up episode number 30.
Henrik Lundqvist.
Yes. Episode 31 obviously is next, and that will
Andre
be
Pavlik?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yep, you read my mind. Hopefully the Yankees get the sweep today. Hopefully the Mets can do us a favor and at least take one against Tampa.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
The Phillies aren't doing us any favors either, by the way, losing both games to Toronto. But yeah, the search goes on. NHL playoffs are underway.
Go Canes.
Should be exciting. And we'll see what happens. We'll catch up with you guys next episode 31.
Bye.
Until then,
Be well.
be well.